Alright, what we have here is a broken servo connector from a Nano MCPX or Nano CPX. On the servo connector there are 3 pads. The ground pad, you can tell it's the ground because it goes to the base pads here. You have the ground pad, the power pad that will bring you battery voltage, and then you have the signal pad. The signal pad will go all the way back eventually to the MCU where the servo signals come from. What you have right here is your 10K pull-up resistor. This resistor helps keep the servo signal nice and clean. So in order to change out this connector, the first thing we're going to have to do is remove all this old solder. Before you do anything involving solder, you always have to use flux. So apply a little bit of flux to the board. And then I use solder braid to wick it away. Now the first one you do might take a little while because you have to heat the braid and you're going to have to heat up the board a little bit too. Once you get the braid and the board a little more saturated with heat, then the other ones will go pretty easy. Now if you notice, I'm not using the very tip of my iron. I actually have it laid down on the side to get the most surface area on the board as I can, because I want to transfer as much heat as I can. You might also notice that I am dragging the soldering iron across the board. This is considered to be a very bad practice, but on pads as large as this, I think it's okay. After you suck away all the old solder, you have to clean the pads. I use an acid brush and isopropyl alcohol. I just use the 91% alcohol that I get from Walgreens, and the acid brushes I can get from my local Hobby Town, USA. Now once all the old solder is removed, take a good look at your board. Make sure you don't have any ripped pads or any other damage that needs to be repaired in the process. Now you can see that I have some solder mask lifted on the board here and here. Now it makes the board not as pretty, but it won't affect the operation at all. Alright. So off camera I am unpackaging a brand new servo connector. And here it is, right here. Alright, you can see on that servo connector we have the same 3 pads, or not pads, they're actually pins on here. The ground, the power, and the signal. Now, just have to put it in place. It's a little shaky. I'm trying to use tweezers. That way you guys have a good view. I'd usually use my fingers for these guys. We're going to apply a little bit of flux. You can see it run over all the pins and also under the connector. When it goes under the connector, it goes onto the 2 side pads that hold it all together. Now I'm preloading my iron with a little bit of solder because I'm now going to tack it in. Just like when you're welding, you want to do a little tack to hold your part in place. So I'm actually struggling a bit here because the camera I'm using to film this is on my typical angle of approach. Alright, so there we go. I have 1 pin tacked to hold the connector in place. Now you can see I also did a little bit of melting with the connector, but as long as the shape remains good, then the connector is going to be fine. It's just a little cosmetic damage. Now for the other legs, you want to heat the pad and then let the solder move onto the pad. Here we go. Now we got all three, the ground, the power, and the signal connected. Now we have to hook up the back two to help secure it to the board. To do that, I simply load my tip with some solder. Then I stick it in the gap in between the two and hold it there for just a second. Now as long as you have enough flux in there, the solder will suck right into that gap and fasten those two parts together. Alright. Taking a quick look, making sure the job's okay. Alright. After you're done, you want to clean off your flux. A lot of fluxes are sold as a no clean flux, but I think you should clean off all flux no matter what the package says. This stuff can be corrosive and could damage parts of your board. Alright, let's dry this off a bit. I'm just using some low temperature air. It's about a, let me see, where are we at? 152 degrees C. Just using that to hurry up and dissolve all my alcohol so I could take a look at my job. Alright. Now, what you see when we're all done is 3 shiny pads. 1, 2, 3. Notice how they all have a nice shine to them. We used lead in our solder, and so a good job should have shine. Now if you're using lead-free solder, you might not get the shine. It could have a dull finish, but it's still a good finish. If you're using leaded solder, if it's not shiny, it's not good. Alright, well that's pretty much it. Now all I have to do is put it in a servo and check it out, make sure it works. Looking at this job here, I'm pretty confident that it will. Alright, thanks for watching.